Hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
And Shelley. Hi, Shelley.
Hello.
Oh, I should put my name on here. Let me do that. So I'm Sharon Burch, and welcome to our call. It is being recorded. And Happy New Year, everybody. I'm going to, for the next few minutes, I will kind of keep my eyes on the people that are coming in. I have to, let them into from the waiting room. So glad you're here. And Shelley, I haven't met you before. Would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. So my name is Shelley, and I finished cohort 36 through Inca last year. I took my certification in December and passed. Just a little, don't want to assume, but I don't know how much you want to know. So I've been a nursing director for the past 14 years. And then in April, I decided it was time for me to step away from that role. And I've taken a role with our population health team, and then have my own nurse coaching business, trying to get that rolling on the side. So.
Okay, thank you. That was great. And let's go around the room and just hear from everybody. Before we do that, though, I guess I have one more question for Shelley, and this will be a model for everyone. So what is the focus of your nurse coaching practice? Do you have a particular demographic or population, and do they have a specific problem?
That's, I think, one of the things that I'm wanting to try to learn a little more about. I wanted to stay out of the weight loss lane, but that tends to be what people want the most. And so I do some coaching on weight loss. My passion really lies with burnout. And so I would really like to lean a little more into that. Both nursing, of course, we've seen a ton of nursing burnout with the inpatient nurses, especially. And then I have a daughter who's a teacher. So teachers also have had a really tough time the last few years. So that I would love to be able to lean more into that population.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Who would like to go next to tell us where your name, where you live, and anything you'd like, a short thing about your, practice. Okay. Just jump right in.
I'm Bernadette, and I've been a nurse for a long time. But now I'm looking at focusing on racism in nursing. So it's a huge endeavor, but I'm looking to really speak to nursing and using holistic ways to de-stress nurses, as with the focus on kind of branching that out, because if nurses can, as the core, can start and be the and use just collaborative ways to ally with other staff, as and healthcare workers, as well as patients, and just in the community. But I believe it can be done by starting with nurses, and especially nurses of color.
All right. Thank you, Bernadette. We're glad you're here and that you're working on that big problem.
Yeah.
Who would, we'll just go around quickly to see who's here. And then, of course, the purpose of the call is for me to give you a little coaching on your top question or challenge, okay? So we've heard from Shelley and Bernadette. Who would like to go next?
I'll jump in. You know me, but just to recap, I've been kind of following this for 6 months, trying to make some decisions about, do I want to jump into this business, world or not. I'm a retired nurse practitioner. Retired in 2020. I'm just kind of tired with the health system, the pandemic. There's no way. I've had job offers, and there's no way I would go back into the current health system again. I said if I was ever going to do anything again, it would be for myself. I have a number of credentials after my name, which isn't really important, except during the pandemic, I did become a credentialed whole health educator through the National Institute of Whole Health. And then this fall, I took a little sidetrack. I've been a member of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine for some time, and I just became a diplomate. I took the exam, and so now I have a diplomate that I could put after my name, thinking that that would be a benefit to me in our community in terms of gaining sort of like not the respect, but another thing that would endeavor, especially with some of the even the concierge physicians in the area. My background is adult health. I've probably done about it all in nursing, but I really like patient education and coaching. I'm a whole health educator coach, as well as now with the lifestyle medicine, my focus is on adults and helping prevent or reverse chronic disease through lifestyle means. And that's about as far as I had gotten with my thought about a business. I've had some interest in the community, and so that's where I'm at.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. We have Lisa and Wendy and Chrissy.
I'll jump in. Hi, I'm Lisa Evers, and I've been a nurse for 35 years. Like many have said, stepped back from the bedside. During these last few years, I taught undergrad nursing for a few years after I finished a master's at Goddard College. And my focus has been on attempting to flip the pain scale. And my thesis or hypothesis has been that our current focus on reliving our worst pain ever as we're using that scale just has fueled this negativity and the negative neurochemicals, all of that. So anyway, a number of years ago, it seems like yesterday, but 2017, Anna published a brief article that I had written, and I've dabbled in the concept of making this a business, and I just have not really done it right or full-heartedly to this point. And so Sharon, I know of her with Anna, and I saw an email, and I just thought that this would be the perfect network to really reach out to and get like-minded souls together. One of my thoughts is that we're missing the spiritual aspect, dealing with that piece of the healing that I think so many are really lacking. And so I want to give voice to that. And I want to do it from a Christian perspective. I dabbled in New Age, and for whatever reason, I'm called now to really embrace the Christian perspective and put that out there. If that resonates with people, fabulous. And if it doesn't, that's fabulous as well. But I'd like to keep that conversation open for nurses and patients as well.
Thank you, Lisa. And yes, I'm acquainted with your work, and it's beautiful. What I've seen your handouts and things. So I look forward to us connecting more, as I do with everybody on the call. This hour is going to fly by. So I hope that if you enjoy it, that you'll come back again or email me with things that are on your mind as well. I'm open to that. By the way, my email address is right there in my frame of my videos. So take that down if you want it. Okay, how about Wendy or Chrissy?
So I'm Chrissy, or Christina is my legal name. I've been the one emailing you, Sharon, so I just saw your last email. I can get with you to do the payment thing. But so I started trying to open my private practice like kind of over the summer. I did a health coach program last year and graduated. And then shortly after I graduated, I found out my sister had a baby. So I had to kind of relocate to Michigan for a while to help foster the baby for adoption, because that's where my sister, that's like where my whole family lives. But I live in Oregon now. So I finally was working on the business, and then I decided I needed to take a break. My mom also had dementia and ended up passing. So I was like, this is just too much. I'll take a break, come back to Oregon. And then I just got back a few weeks ago. So now I think I'm ready to jump back into the business stuff, but I'm also, going to be taking care of the baby, and I'm working full time. I work in the hospital, so like 3 days a week. Well, I actually took an on-call position, so I can work less if I want to, but so I don't know. I'm just kind of like scared and nervous. Like, am I even making the right decision? Is this the right time? Is there ever going to be a right time? My focus, I think I really want to focus on like mental health. I like helping people with depression and anxiety, but I also just kind of like the whole overall wellness, like helping people with chronic disease or reverse, prevent and reverse chronic disease. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
All right. Thank you, Chrissy. And my condolences to you about your mom. Losing your mom. Yeah. Wendy, would you like to share with us where you are? And you're muted at the moment, dear.
Sorry about that. I have been a collector of degrees and licenses and things. And I thought I had cured myself, but I realize now I'm just collecting little tiny short things online. And I think it's an anxiety thing about if I just can find the right credential, then I'll feel like I'll be legitimate, or I'll be I'll find the niche that I feel really comfortable in, or it might be more that, because I don't particularly feel not legitimate. It's just, I thought when I actually remortgaged my house to take a nurse coach thing, and I got certified through the AHNA. And then I just didn't feel like doing it. It just didn't excite me. And I thought, you know what? I'm old, I'm tired. I don't feel like doing shit I don't want to do, excuse my language. And I got really fascinated with an old topic, which was nonviolent communication, and just how we can improve the planet. I'm stuck on TV listening to the news 24/7, it seems, and I'm just so fed up with what the world is doing. I want to do something that will help the world. I have been a psych nurse, and before that, I was a special educator. My psych nursing, mostly doing, at the end, I was doing outpatient clinics, or an outpatient a partial program for psych, but I did a lot of nurse management type stuff in psych. I've done lots of groups. So I thought, well, I'll do groups that help people to think in a better way about the world, so that they're contributing to more positive energy in the world, including myself. And I'm actually scheduled to teach something in NVC on Meetup in January. Of course, I don't know how to do Zoom, and I don't know, how to do transcripts. I'd like to send out a transcript, but my idea is I'll do 2 or 3 classes in Zoom Meetup, for which you're not supposed to charge anything, but I would develop a list of people who are interested, and then I would offer them a workshop, and I would do like 4 or 5 session workshop focused on this idea of systems thinking and nonviolent communication, all that kind of thing. So that's where I am right now.
All right, Wendy, thank you for sharing that. And I want to say there's such a need for what you're offering, and everyone that's here tonight. You're all very aware of needs in the society, in the cultures that we're in, and looking at how you can contribute.
Can I say
And
one more thing?
Yeshe, oh, yes.
Wendy, I just want to say I can really resonate with Lisa a whole lot, because I thought I was going to go into coaching to work with people with chronic pain issues, which, I mean, I really love that population. But what I found is, for one thing, a lot of people with chronic pain don't have a whole lot of money, so I don't know how they're going to pay for health coaching. So that was one thing. And I found that even the people that I had that I was doing the free coaching with as part of my internship stuff for certification, it was very hard to get them to be consistent in what they were doing. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there, and to throw out a line to you, Lisa.
Yeah, I think I hear exactly what you're saying. And that's where I think I've been, like many of us, I think as nurses, we just want to help people, and we don't know how to do it to get reimbursed in a way that feels authentic. It just feels smarmy, I guess, to some extent. We're just, and how do we do that? And I think that's where Sharon's going to be able to help us, I hope, to be able to really embrace the concept of, we see ourselves as worthy. I know that. And yet for our own ideas, I think it's a little bit harder to get traction and to feel okay about it. I just assume, as a matter of fact, I talked real quickly to an attorney today, and I'm like, I would just assume just put it out there and just let people use it, which is what I really want to see happen anyway, because once people start actually feeling better, and we can take some of the, wear and tear off the healthcare system, I'm thinking things could actually improve organically. That doesn't equate to a whole lot of dollars and cents, but that's okay. I think we all have a big picture idea of knowing that we need to do something, even if it's wrong.
I have some kind of hope, Lisa, that something will open up in the chronic pain field because of the terrible amount of addiction and death that we have going on. Right. And that somebody will realize that we need chronic pain practitioners to help with that as an alternative to killing yourself with overdosing.
I'm just going to toss this out there just real quickly, because I know that Sharon has an idea where she wants to go with this. But the vision that I have is that we basically just start asking our patients, our clients, how do you feel today? How do you really feel today on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the best you've ever felt? And I think that gets to the point where people who struggle with chronic pain oftentimes can't even remember when they felt well, because it's been so long ago. And I think just giving people permission to think about when they felt well, and then start reusing or reprogramming the brain and releasing those positive neurochemicals instead of shutting down and feeling like you're trapped. I think that's part of the solution. And I hope we can all stay connected and sort of brainstorm about how to make all these things work together. But that's where it starts. And then it's a body, mind, or spirit issue. And they start thinking about which of those pieces really needs attention right now, because we get caught up in the body piece and forget that our mind is really wrapped around the axle, only thinking old thoughts over and over, which doesn't allow for health and healing. And the spirit piece is missing, and we fill it with all kinds of things that aren't spirit. So anyway, that's my short and sweet, and I don't want to jeopardize or monopolize, but thank you all for listening and for being here to offer support.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. On that note, I'll say you can all stay connected very easily through our Facebook group. It's, if you're not part of it yet, it's New Directions for Nurses. You can just search that in Facebook and ask to join, and then chat with each other and others. I think there's over 300 and some nurses there that are nurse entrepreneurs or looking at being a nurse entrepreneur. So I do want to do some coaching. But before I do, I want to introduce my teammate, Yeshe Chodron. She's been very quiet here because I didn't call on her like I was everybody else. Yeshe, would you like to introduce yourself and say a few words too?
Sure, and I'll be brief. So I'm Yeshe Chodron. I'm in Kansas, and I am a former nurse who has become an entrepreneur, and I am now working with women who want to move forward in their purpose in life, and they need help doing that, either with being clear or gaining confidence or both, something along those lines. And I work really closely with people in their soul growth. So Lisa, what you were saying really spoke to me. Actually, a lot of you, what you were saying really spoke to me. So, but yes, I agree that there is a spiritual component involved in our wellness that often gets overlooked when we're focused on the physical body. I would say that my business is focused on healing the splits between the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. And how I support Sharon's work is, first of all, I love it. And second of all, I'm able to work with people one-on-one through Sharon's program, helping with the internal realm stuff as you build and grow your business.
Thank you, Yeshe. Yeshe is a very skilled coach, and she is a coach on my team. So, so if you join in our business incubator, which is on a special offer right now with a discount that ends at midnight tomorrow, you'd receive coaching from Yeshe and from me. You can have your choice depending on what you are working on. You'd learn more about that in the incubator. So I'm eager to hear what's on your mind. And I am going to ask Cheryl to hold back just a little because you've been on some of these calls before, and give some of the new people a chance to ask their question. And why don't we just keep it to like one top question for each person until we've gone around. We may not get any further than one question per person tonight. Okay. So in fairness, let's just start alphabetically with the first letter of your first name. And I think that looks like it would be Bernadette. Would you like to start?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
For me, as a still personality, I'm really looking for help as to where to begin. I see as I'm looking to ally and partnerships. I'm also looking at delivery system for what I'm looking to do. So where to begin, because I want to start with what I would continue to do and then look towards expansion.
Okay. So I'll give you a little help. I can't go into a lot of depth, though. I hope you understand, in this format. Nothing like I would if it was our private coaching session together. But I can say, and I'll tell everybody, Bernadette took one of my courses recently. It's called Get More Clients with Less Effort. And so I know a little bit about her intention, her vision. And it sounds to me like, Bernadette, you're thinking about your personal energy profile. So in the way I work with people, they take all my clients and students take a energy profile assessment to start out with, because what one person has a natural talent to do might be the opposite of what another person's natural blueprint or talent is. And when Bernadette says she's a steel, that says a certain thing to me, which I don't have time to explain to all of you, but it's basically built on the I Ching and the natural energies in the world from that perspective, from the Chinese elements. So Bernadette, I would say you already have that natural inclination to look at data and base what you're doing on data, right?
Absolutely.
And I know we talked about working with individual nurses for a while, creating a safety for them so they could feel like they could tell you the real truth of what was going on.
Right.
And then from your learning from that, going into hospitals and other healthcare organizations and offering to the organization your services. And are you thinking along that line, or are you know, is that just to
Yes.
reminding you, is that helpful to you?
Yes.
Okay.
All of the above. That's helpful. That is what we said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So, you know, if we were in a session, I would help you with the details of each step of that. Okay. And I'd say I'll end on that. I would say put it out in your network of people you know to see if any of them would like to have a conversation with you around this and let you know what they would need, what kind of support, what kind of resources would
As a
be useful
pilot.
to them. Yeah, as a little, first to hear, you know, with empathy, really hear what I know you know the problem in many ways, but it's a little different when you listen to it through the
Somebody else's.
filter that you're going to do it as a business. So you just listen, take notes or recording, and then take notes and ask them questions from your heart and mind and spirit to what do they want as their outcome, and how would they like to get there? And that's where I would say to start. And then you'll build from there. Okay. And Yeshe, would you like to add something to that? Is there anything?
Actually, not this time. I think you said what I would have said as well. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Bernadette. So since we're gonna skip Cheryl, looks like the next person is Chrissy.
I don't know. I guess maybe my question is, so there's a chiropractic naturopath in town that, I don't know, I was thinking about maybe trying to like approach her. My stepson's girlfriend actually works for her, to see if she would be interested. I don't know, like some kind of partnership with, or like if I could help with her patients or clients, or I don't know, but I guess I don't really know anybody who's done that. I don't know really how that works or anything like that.
So are you looking for income stream? Are you I mean, I know you're looking for all these, but let's just say prioritizing. What would be the number one thing you're looking for in this question, or in this, that it's behind this question? Do you want more income immediately? Do you want to learn more about an audience, to learn more about your own skills and how you can help people, or something else?
Maybe the second one, like immediately.
Okay, to learn more about your audience. Okay, that's great. So it's a wonderful approach to partner with somebody who already has a cash flow and connections to the audience that you want to serve. And just you know, have some of that cash. It's not even just cash flow, it's energy flow. It's the information that's coming through. It's the feelings. It's the ideas that you'll get when you're in a flow of the energy that you want to serve. Things will come to you. It's much better to position yourself like that than in a whole different area without that energy, because it's like trying to have a flow where there's nothing happening, it's very difficult. But if you go where there is a flow already, then that will spark things in you. It will inform you, inspire you, and so on. So if this person is serving the people you want to serve, it's a good idea. And you could volunteer there, you could get a part-time job there, you could, a lot of different approaches, which we'll go into all that in the incubator if you join us with that.
Okay.
Or when you join us. I think you've already made your decision. We just had trouble connecting today. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Does that give you an idea to start with?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeshe, anything you'd like to share? I'm going to ask you each time because you often have good things to share.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I have a sense, having spoken to you before, Chrissy, I have a sense that maybe if you can do a part-time job, that would be the great way to go. And as you're doing that, similar to what Sharon said, really lean into paying attention to who's coming through and how you're feeling and, what you believe you could help them with, even if you weren't in that part-time position. What would be the thing that calls out to you that your heart says, gosh, I really wish I could, and just pay attention to how that, what comes through when you think about that. Does that make sense?
Thank you. Yes. Okay, alphabet is Lisa next, right?
Yes, that's it. It's like I was anticipating that. Okay, so my questions are quite simple. Is everyone who's in a business or thinking about a business maintaining their nursing license? And what type of insurance do you cover as an entrepreneur with your business in the healing field?
Okay, great. I'm going to start with the last one, and then I'll probably have to ask you what the first one was when I finish. The insurance question is completely variable according to what services you're giving. For instance, I don't do health services anymore. I'm doing a non-health thing. So my insurance only needs to be minimal. Somebody who's coaching on mental health, for instance, their population has mental illness, they're going to need a lot higher coverage of liability insurance. Just see what I mean. There's a spectrum involved. So just being an entrepreneur doesn't so much tell us as how we're working. Yeah, if you're going to be working with pain, that's that health side of things.
Right.
And you're going to want to plan that you're going to have more expensive coverage than somebody like me.
Right.
And I recommend talking to the people at NSO. That's national.
That's who I've had all these years. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
They're just great. They're brokers of many different insurance companies. They're not just a company, they're brokers.
Okay.
And if you can go on their website, type in a few things about your practice and have them, a representative will call you.
Okay.
And that's what I recommend is you talk to a real life person, whatever company you're going to go to, tell them the kind of practice you're thinking of and have them give you a quote on that.
Because I've been, like I said, I've been with them for like 30 something years. And so just transitioning, I didn't want to be continuing to cover or carry part-time like bedside coverage, which is what I'd had most of the time anyway. And at some point, I guess once I change my coverage, then I will maybe see this more as a business instead of, you know what I mean? Just something goofy to do or to play with. Another thing was just maintaining licensure. And since I'm hearing you say, since I'm staying in the actual patient-client sort of relationship, that obviously if I want to say that I've been a nurse for 35 years, I probably should continue the appropriate licensure for same.
Yeah, I think it's to your advantage to
Okay.
do that. And with,
Sounds good.
especially with the topic you're wanting, the problem you're wanting to help solve.
Okay.
For some nurses, it's not necessarily an advantage.
Right.
They can say they're a former nurse and it's just as powerful as saying they're still a nurse.
Right.
So it's you know, according to you, the person.
Right. I think I'll renew this year, and then in 2 more years, then I'll figure it out again then.
Okay.
Thank you
One
very
more,
much.
you're welcome, Lisa. One more tip, and this is for everybody about the insurance. Lisa will probably be an educator,
Mhm.
not a prescriber,
Right.
correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
Be sure you tell the insurance companies when you're talking to them, make
Oh.
that distinction, because there's a huge difference as far as liability and cost for
Oh.
you.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah. And you'll probably have to lean on the coach or the educator part so that they really hear that, because remember, we're only 3% of all nurses, you know, are coaches
Mhm.
or so,
Mhm.
and educators. So it's just important to represent that side of what your liability really is. Limit your liability to that area. Make sure they're not thinking you're at the bedside
No.
or delivering any kind of direct care,
Mm-mm.
you know, or that kind
That's
of thing.
perfect. I really appreciate that pearl of wisdom, because speaking the language and knowing what to say will keep it very simple, I think. So yes, that's going to be very helpful. Thank you very
You're
much, Sharon.
welcome. Yeah, you'll need to advocate and just like put that out there, because they won't know to ask you. They'll
Okay.
have a bunch of assumptions that they haven't even inspected probably, you know, and so you'll want to just put out there maybe even repetitively,
Yeah.
how you're framing your practice, what your
Okay.
parameters are, and so on.
Sounds
And you
good.
want to,
Thank you.
make it clear parameters so they don't do some kind of big umbrella that you don't need. Okay. Yeshe, do you have anything to add?
I'll just be really brief and just encourage you, Lisa. I feel like you've already got, your passion is already pointed like an arrow. So I would say, hallelujah, keep going. And you're asking some really, really fabulous questions.
Okay, great. And I just want to acknowledge that Chrissy has her little one
look
there. Hi. She's so cute.
That's the best part.
Yeah. Hi. Okay, so we have Shelley.
Yeah, so I think for me, my question, I think Lisa might have hit on this earlier, just that how do you promote yourself and it not feel icky? You know, where how do you provide pretty much what we've done as nurses for our whole careers, and then charge it, charge a fee for it, as far as, supporting and doing all that we have done, most of us, I'm sure, throughout our nursing career. And I think that's the piece that I'm struggling with now, is like how to market myself, who do I collaborate with, and how do you do that in a way that can feel good?
That's really an important question,
Yeah.
Shelley, and I'm glad you brought it up. And again, it's going to be bigger. The answer is bigger than what I can put into this little time.
Mhm.
I do have a course, the Get More Clients course, that is all about that question and how to do the work, to be prepared to be in those conversations with people where we're meeting people where they are, really coming from our empathy and our nursing ethics, which are so precious and so rare, I'm discovering, out in the conventional marketing and business world. So I'll see if I can give you something useful in a nutshell. I would say the first thing is to identify as clearly as you can who you most want to work with and serve, and what is their most urgent problem, or their problem that keeps them up at night. And just go with your gut to start with, but then you're going to be open to refining that as you work with more and more people and hear more closely what their problems and needs are. It'll get clearer. And then do everything you do in your business goes around that or aligns with that. And when it comes down to doing your marketing, you're telling them who you are and what you have to offer in the most credible and compassionate way and direct. Like, we really don't need all these big pitches and all learning strategies, which often come down to layers of manipulation or exploitation of people or pressure. What we need is showing up as the professionals we are and telling people we have something that will help them, in an honest way.
Mhm.
And sometimes that will take talking to a lot of people, a lot of times, to have a few come to us. That's nothing about us. That's because there's so many messages out in the world. We're all getting bombarded with marketing, and things that grab our attention. So our best, in my view, this is my point of view, our best bet is to show up consistently, repeatedly, be who we are, say what we have to offer, and make invitations to people to work with us. Okay. I'd like to hear how that lands for you, Shelley. And I'd also like to hear Yeshe's input too.
Yeah. I think it's something that I know in here. The struggle for me is I'm kind of an introverted person, and when I feel very confident about what I'm talking about, I'm good, but it's that approaching others and in those new situations that I know I'm just going to have to overcome. I think that is my real fear, is just putting myself out there, and I know I'm going to fail, and I know that that's part of it, but it's just, it's hard to actually take that step, I think.
It really is. And nurses especially, it's hard for us. We are used to having all these parameters and procedures and policies that keep us, we still take risks every hour of the day, but there's still a lot set up for us as a pathway to follow in our nursing roles.
Mhm.
And that's it, direct care or education or wherever we are. But when we're entrepreneurs, it's like the opposite.
Yeah.
There aren't those parameters and lanes. And the only way we can succeed is to experiment, learn, experiment and learn, experiment. It's really the opposite of what we've done as nurses. So keep coming to these, and
Okay.
come get our courses too if you're interested. If you're on our mailing list, I'll talk about this more sometimes in our newsletters. There's actually quite a lot to unpack as far as the nuances of how to do that thing that I described in 2 minutes of being honest and direct. There's many little layers and things that build. So, Yeshe,
Thank you.
what would you like to add?
Yeah, I could listen to you talk all day, all the time, Sharon. Sorry. But yes, I agree with all of that. And I'm also an introvert, Shelley, and I know you wouldn't know it, but it's really true. I do a lot of my work right here in this chair, right behind this camera, because that's what feels good to me. And working with someone like Sharon, being in a group like this, having people around you who are also moving into the same place that you're moving into is really, really helpful for people like us, so that we can see that, yeah, other people are doing it too. And yeah, okay, maybe that person stumbled and here's how they handled it, right? So that can help us build confidence. It's sort of like borrowing confidence until we can cultivate our own confidence. So I highly recommend that you borrow as much confidence as you can until you've cultivated your own confidence. And you know, mindset has a lot to do with everything. As an introvert myself, also, one of the ways that I work with my mindset is by listening to guided imagery and by listening to binaural beats meditations. And that really helps me stay focused in the place where I do feel safe. And safe, by the way, is not the same as discomfort. We're going to be uncomfortable when we stretch ourselves, right? But we do want to, it is okay for us to feel safe. And I think that, like Sharon was speaking in terms of the extractionist point of view and the pushy point of view of a lot of marketing and the manipulation, we tend to move out of a place that's really safe, and it, you know, it puts us on edge just as much as it puts our potential client on edge. But what's really helpful is if we allow ourselves to have the safety that we need and that we desire, and to make the invitation from that place. And again, borrow confidence as much as you can.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you, Yeshe. Okay, Wendy.
I'm not sure really that I have a specific question. I do have a piece of feedback, which is that I'm not sure how to say this in an abbreviated way. I signed up for a class that's supposed to, a course that's supposed to teach you how to make millions in, 6 months or whatever. And it just, again, it just turns me off because it's so much rah rah, we're going to make money. But they also talked a lot about, you need to have what they called an avatar for your ideal client, which I don't get avatar because I don't do computers. So, just figuring out avatar didn't feel at home for me either. But when you said, what's the problem that keeps them up at night? Although I've heard those other people say that also, it was mixed in with all that other rah-rah avatar crap, and I didn't really hear it. So I really heard this, and it was just people who are frustrated with the way the world seems to be going right now, and people who want to add positive energy to the universe. And that's my client, and I have had the hardest time because when they're talking about avatar, he's supposed to be either male or female, and I think, well, mostly female, but I don't want to exclude males, but it's not really all males either. So I would get real hung up on all that. It's more people that have a certain desire to contribute to the universe, I guess, is the way to put it. And the things that I'm drawn to learning about are, I smiled when you said binaural beats because I don't know anybody who talks about that. So it was nice to hear somebody talk about it because I'm, fooling around with that stuff. I'm constantly doing these free little 7-day challenges for such and such a class that's supposed to hook you into buying their, $4 million class, which I can't afford. So, but I do get little dribs and drabs by doing the 7-day challenge things. But I feel very at home here. The energy is the right energy to me. I mean, it feels at home to me. And I've never really considered myself a nursing nurse because I didn't go to nursing school to be a nurse. I went to nursing school to do therapy with people, which is not the same as doing medical nursing. It's really different. So I'm happy to be with these people right now. And I came to one of your other Tuesday night groups a couple months ago and also felt at home. So anyway, it's very nice. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you,
That's all I
Wendy.
have to say.
Thank you for just sharing all of that. Yeshe, would you want to? I have a feeling you have something to say about that.
Thank you. You read me so well. Wendy, again, thank you. Echoing what Sharon said, thank you for that. I want to offer something, and if it feels right for you, run with it. And if it doesn't, you can just ignore it. But my sense is that if you were to slow down and focus on the mini courses, the certifications, the things that you're doing, and if you were to allow yourself to lean into what is it that's actually in your heart. You spoke into some of that tonight, but what is it that's actually in your heart that you want to share? My sense is that you could start to gain a little bit of a clearer view of your passion, of what really is red hot in the center of your heart, right? And I think that with that, if you are interested in starting your business, I think that with that you can move into a course like the incubator, which is something that can hone everything that you've been speaking into and put you in a direction where you can create a sustainable foundation for your business. Because I can feel like the joy of life and the curiosity that you have for life and the appreciation that you have for humankind and your heart for serving humankind. And my sense is that what you're speaking into in terms of, I want to help people who want to help people. And, I want to share the love. When people ask me what religion am I very cornily say, my religion is love. So I can really relate to where your heart is at. But yeah, I think if you're interested in doing, a business or moving forward on a business, I think doing something like bringing your attention into one solid structure that can help you bring all of who you are into your business would really benefit you a great deal.
Well, I'm kind of laughing as I listen to you because I was doing one of those free 7-day classes today, and they were, it was more sort of ethereal stuff. And
Yeah.
it's somebody who channels a God group, an angelic group. Anyway, it was about letting go of something you want to let go of and claiming something that you want to claim. And what I wanted to let go of was the anxious scatteredness.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to get a hold of was a focused, and there were a whole bunch of words that went with that.
Yeah.
I was trying to find my piece of paper, I can't find it. But the main word was focus. Just to be able to find a focus instead of being, I feel like I'm all over the place and just trying to remember, just trying to hold on to all the balloons for all the places that I'm reaching out to is wearing me out.
Yeah, you know what, Wendy, I've been there at the beginning of adding coaching services to my business. I was exactly where you are right now. Are you considering one of the courses that Sharon has available that is until tomorrow, 50% off? Just putting that part in there.
Well, while we were talking and after Sharon said that, I went into the Facebook group and then I looked up 3 things, and money's a big issue. I'm retired. I don't,
Okay.
So.
Okay, understandable.
Yeah.
You know what? I think if you keep coming to these calls once a month, and just like what I was saying to Shelley, be in the atmosphere of those of us who are walking this path as well, and allow yourself to be influenced by our focus. So for you, I'm going to recommend that you borrow the focus of others. So being around people who have focus, being around, being in the place within yourself where you trust yourself enough to bring your awareness in just a little bit.
Another piece of that many word thing, of which one word was focus, was self-confidence. That was another piece of that. There were like 5 words.
Yeah.
Focus, self-confident. Completing, because I don't I'm not completing. I'm landing
Yeah.
here and then I'm landing here and then I'm landing here, and it's
Yes.
not healthy.
I bet you're a star. So,
You bet what?
Sharon was talking about the personality profiles that we use in the Liberated Nurse work. Star. I'm a star. We start things really well, but finishing not so much, right? So one of the shadows, everything that you just spoke into, starting and not finishing and being fragmented and finding yourself in different places, all of that, and the lack of focus, all of that, in my perspective, from the work that I've done over the years, comes down to being able to trust yourself. And so if there's any part of you that's not solid in trusting yourself, and I say that, but I also want to say that that is also a tall order for us to trust ourselves. We've been, in our society, we've been asked to not trust ourselves in many ways. But for personalities like yours and mine, it's especially hard for us to trust ourselves. But when we can find trust in ourselves, then we will be able to focus. We will be able to follow through. We will be able to see where we are versus where we want to be. And we will be able to bring things in and to trust a structure that's worked. Yeah, laser versus shotgun. Agreed. Yes, well said.
Actually, laser was one of the words.
Yeah. So Wendy, I want to.
It's not that I'm totally unfocused.
Sure.
There's a part of me that's sort of resisting that descriptor coming from someone else. I can say it, but coming from someone else, I don't.
Wendy, we are so much alike.
I know that I want to teach in a group sort of way.
Yeah.
And I know that I want to teach something around how to communicate or how to think about the world or how to put your energy out in the world. It's just figuring out exactly how to hook into that.
Yep. Wendy, do you write for yourself? Do you keep notes? Do you journal?
I do, but they're all over the place.
They're all over the place.
So my
That's
task
okay.
for today is to pull together some of my many lists.
Okay, that's all right. That's totally all right. So I want to
for the next 3 days.
Okay, so I want to invite you to the things that you're expressing tonight, the things that you feel like you could use more of. I want to invite you to write those down in with a writing tool and a paper, not on a computer, et cetera, like that, but actually use your body to write some of this down, because I think, Lisa's nodding, and I think probably most of us know that there have been studies that show that when we involve our body into a process, along with our emotions, along with our mind, then that actually becomes much more prone to progress or healing. So I really invite you to be somatic with your processes, do some writing. In addition to that, I'm going to invite you and recommend that you do some grounding practices. So that could be putting your feet on the earth and having some deep breaths. That could be just presencing yourself in the room around you, in the room that you're in, by looking around you and naming a few things a couple of times a day. But to allow yourself to have a little bit more of a connection with physical presence, I think that will also help you build trust. And again, building that trust in yourself can help you build confidence, can help you build focus, and can help you bring things into a place that's much more manageable, that you can put out into the world in somewhat of an organized way, so that people who consume what you're offering can have the great benefits that I believe they can have with you. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
Thank you for that.
And hopefully you'll be back next month.
Okay, well, our time is up, but I haven't heard from Cheryl yet, so I'm going to stay here, Cheryl, if you'd still like to speak. I want to, though, close with anybody else that needs to go, because I honor your time limits too. thank you so much for coming tonight. I hope you come back. You do need to let me know each month that you want to attend. Just request. You can request it tonight if you want to, and then it'll be done for the month. Just send it to info@liberatednurse.com and say you want to come. I put just now a link in the chat that goes to the website with my special that ends tomorrow night at midnight. Feel free to go there if you think it might serve you. There's 3 products: the incubator, the Nurse Business Incubator program, the private coaching that I do, and then also the short course, which is how to get more clients with less effort. And if any of you need to jump off right away and you have one last burning question, I can, if it's short, I'll answer it, but otherwise, thank you. And I'll be giving Cheryl my attention next. So any last thoughts from any of you? Okay, well, feel free to stay until we conclude with Cheryl, if you'd like. Take it away, Cheryl.
Well, this has been really helpful because I've been kind of on the fence about, not on the fence. It's just like, I think it's not procrastination. It's just, I think I've got more of a focus, but do I really want to do this? And I think it's like, and do this at this point in my life. And then it's like, well, what have you got to lose? I mean, okay, so there's some threats, there's some fear, there's the self-confidence thing is jumping into something that's really different, although I've always liked a challenge and I've done all right with that. Think I have some resources. So I think this is what I kind of needed from this. It was sort of like reconnecting, hearing again, and thinking, is this a good decision for me? And this has been reassuring in that regard. In terms of this. So that's basically what I felt like I needed to. I was kind of even debating doing this today, and I thought, no, I think this is just really good and really good to hear from others. And I've gotten some good ideas from, sort of from listening to people to sort of take it back in again. So I felt a little guilty because I haven't done the starter. I started the starter kit it seems like way back when. I lost track of time. And haven't really done that, but I kind of feel like I can move on to something and incorporate that piece of what I need to do next. So I think there's a need for what I have to offer in our community. I just need to figure out and focus in a way of doing it and delivering it and go from there.
Okay. Well, we'd love to help you. And is there anything that you need in order to make your decision about joining us in the incubator?
No, I guess the question was, I mean, I can read and understand the setup with it. It sounds like it's pretty comprehensive. It's for me, it's not a question of the CEUs because I've got so many of those, and I'm kind of like Wendy in that way. I sort of collect things, and this last year, kind of finishing up with a couple of certifications, and I don't want to tie things up, but I've done a couple things in the community. I've been offering some classes through the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute, some that have been have worked and some haven't. So It's been kind of a little bit of a learning experience. Have some ideas in moving forward for some connections, and so I need that personalized help, I think, in working with that. So that's
what you'll get, and it'll shorten your you could do anything in the world on your own, but to have guidance from somebody who's been there and done it, it can really shorten your time to get to where you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm again in a retiree frame, so that there's a little bit of a guilt. I'm not feeling like I want to even do as much of this as a part-time. I mean, although perhaps with momentum it might become more than I would want, but I think again, in terms of purpose, what I have to offer, but also and it's kind of a new adventure, not having done the business end of things before. So I think I'm in in a spot where I could do that. And I have some support. So that like I said, that's why I really needed to connect tonight. I've had kind of a bad day otherwise, so I'm glad that this worked out.
Good. I'm glad you came, and thank you for being so patient and taking the last spot, Cheryl. I appreciate it.
It's fine, because I really needed, I really was interested in hearing what everyone else had to say, where they were at their journey, because it's very reinforcing to me. And that we're all very unique, we're on a journey, but it's our own journey,
It is. It's
So-
very personal. Our businesses are very personal for each of us. And there's not a cookie cut. Although businesses do mature in stages and develop in stages like human beings have developmental stages, still every business is very unique and very personal to its owner. So thank you, Cheryl. Would anyone else like to speak or ask something? Questions, comments? And that includes you, Yeshe, of course.
I just sent everybody a thank you. I've got to run. And if I could just ask everyone to think of me at 11 o'clock tomorrow. I've got to have surgery. And so that's just like hanging over my head, and I've got some things to take care of before then. But I would really appreciate your thoughts and prayers if that feels right for you. And I will definitely be back next month, and we'll join the Facebook group and look forward to spending more time with everyone. Grad school starts in a couple weeks, so I'm pretty much tied up for the next 5 months. But yeah, I love this energy, and I think helping and supporting one another, I think we're gonna have a really good year. So thank you very much, everyone. Sharon, for making this possible, and Yeshe and everyone that I've met tonight. Take care, everybody.
Wait, hold on, Lisa.
Yes.
What time zone? 11
Oh,
o'clock.
I'm sorry, 11 o'clock Eastern time zone. I'm in Florida.
Okay.
Yes.
So thank you, because I know I'll tune in and send you love and
Okay.
prayers for a
Thank you.
smooth healing, a
Yes.
successful surgery.
Yeah, it's
And
like wear the sunscreen, because it's going to catch up with us all at some point. But yeah, so I've
Is
had
that what
every
you-
flavor of skin cancer, and I get the last one now. So fortunately, they caught it or identified it early. So I suspect everything will be fine. Yet, still got to go through the process, right?
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
thank you, everyone.
we'll
I
hold you
appreciate every single one.
in the palm of safety and grace and love. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bernadette, since you started, I'd love to hear some more. What's happening for you now after all this call?
I definitely feel the positive energy, and for me, well, I wanted to share with both of you that I have been in connection with just another ally, or someone that I'm anticipating as an ally to partner. I'm looking to find out what her energy is as far as potential partnership, and she's in diversity and inclusion.
I couldn't quite get that. She's in what?
Diversity and inclusion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good. So she's
Yeah.
already doing the work as part of her career.
Her whole entire career has been that. And
Great.
she actually, it came I got to her from doing the getting more clients with you. And one of the it was the circle.
Yes, going to that, finding out about the circle from Anna.
Yeah, exactly. Anna mentioned the circle. So I got curious and I looked and I, gathered and analyzed.
Great.
And I just reached out and she replied the same day.
Great.
So I'm looking to speak with her this month.
I'm really glad. Well, that's a wonderful next step for you
Yeah,
too.
very cool.
I would definitely be praying as to what to do tomorrow
Okay.
before the timeline ends.
Okay. If you have questions come up tomorrow, just reach out to us.
Yeah.
You have my email. Yeshe, does she have your?
Yep, she's got mine too. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Put
Thank
it to
you both
both of
so
us, and then whichever one of us can get to you first, we will, do
Yes.
that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're so
Thank you.
welcome. You're
Good to
so
chat
welcome.
with you. Good night.
It's a
Good night.
joy, Bernadette.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Good.